fits their team. He fits the team better, I guess.
When I
think
just
they
look
both
at this
fit.
personally, Brandon Miller, I understand. I've always lived off of the idea that you draft by team, not by team fit, but by best player available. And no offense to
And
Brandon
maybe
Miller.
and who's to say that they didn't do that though?
You're 100% right. I just believe that when a player who everyone goes, Scoot Henderson in any other draft would have been the number one pick, that's the guy you would take, the guy that they'd say if it wasn't for Victor Wembanyama, he'd be the
Okay,
undisputed
but
number one. No one
with
is
that
saying
being said, with that being said, Brandon Miller would also be the number one pick in most
no.
drafts.
And let's move on from that. Brandon Miller, how does he fit with this team that hopefully they're hopeful that Miles Bridges and both PJ Washington return? We know Kelly Oubre is on his way out. They have LaMelo Ball. It's the starting lineup now. LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, PJ Washington, Brandon Miller,
So
Mark Williams.
what they like is obviously Brandon Miller's likes elite 3-point shooting. It brings a lot. He got used to playing off the ball at Alabama in a loaded offense that shared a lot of touches, and he showed well that he could do that. Good defender with a lot of upside because of his frame. Obviously, there's that. And, he's actually really good for a guy who, you would expect to be really good in transition but struggle in the half court like Koulibaly. He doesn't really have that problem. So I like Brandon Miller a lot. I always thought that he was the best freshman in college basketball from the very beginning of the year. But with that being said, I don't know how they pass on Scoot here, man.
I understand.
I just don't know.
I like the construction of the
LaMelo
roster.
backcourt would be unguardable.
I like the construction of the roster. You got LaMelo, Terry Rozier as your guards. You have your wings, Miles Bridges, Gordon Hayward, Brandon Miller, and PJ Washington. You got your center and
Who's
Mark.
gonna leave? Who's gonna leave?
And then you got Mark.
That's what this means.
Let me finish. Mark Williams as the center. Then you still have Nick Richards as your other center. You kind of right there have 8 guys. Kelly Oubre is on his way out. You bring back Dennis Smith. You have a 9-man rotation right there. I actually kind of like the Charlotte Hornets.
PJ's gone.
I think PJ stays, and he's made it. And they have his bird rights.
This pick means that PJ's getting traded, I think. But somebody's getting traded.
It'd have to be a sign and trade because he's a free agent.
He's gone. Somebody is gone in their wing rotation. I don't know who, because I don't know who wants Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward's an expiring contract, so he could be a guy
he had one more year.
No, this is the last year of his deal, I believe.
Oh, so this coming year's last year's deal? That's what I thought. That's right, correct?
Yeah, he's expiring.
Yeah, so they can trade him then. Yeah. Okay, yeah, they're going to trade him.
He'd probably be a guy. He'd be traded once free agency has kind of already commenced.
Yeah. Once it's already been established and teams already have their needs, Charlotte is going to create space for Brandon Miller in the rotation. One of those guys, PJ Washington or Gordon Hayward, is leaving.
I think Gordon, you probably will fit, the dust will clear on free agency, and we'll see a guy or a team become available, and Gordon Hayward will be like this contract as a third team where people will try to use it as like a salary filler in some sort of way.
Yeah.
I could see that, and he could either
a contending team might have to take on his contract.
Worst comes to worst, he could be a buyout candidate.
And if he's a buyout candidate, then he'll just have a bunch of contending teams chomping at the bit to get him as a minimum deal.
But with that rotation, we take out Gordon Hayward. That's still a 7-man rotation. Bring back PJ Washington, Miles Bridges, LaMelo.
Pick is in.
I think that can make a playoffs.